Hello, and once again, we are live, and welcome to the Modern Mystery School podcast. You might be watching us on our YouTube channel. If so, welcome to you also. And we are joined by the lovely Bradford. How are you, Bradford?
I'm doing well. How are you, Davina Kate?
Very good, thank you. Bradford, I'm quite excited about this chat because I wanted to know how you ended up at Healers Academy, because that's not your background, is it? It's not kind of, oh, well, let's just go to Healers Academy. So I want to know how you ended up at Healers Academy, and also what it was really like on those 5 days. Would you be able to let us know?
Yeah, I think I could touch base on that. And I mean, how did I end up at Healers Academy and then have you initiate me at Healers Academy, right? So
I know, best initiation ever.
yeah. So let's see. How did I end up there? Well, I mean, I like anybody started just as a person that was interested in life activation and just keen on receiving it. And I was signing up for it without a lot of expectation, but I couldn't really argue with the immediate results. And when I say results, I mean like things were not the same. And I've been trying for a long time to try and connect dots that weren't really connecting. And then within 48 hours of activation, I started seeing these things that I've been really trying to mull through for a while, start to take action. I started to take action on it, I should say. And so just, did Empower Thyself 3 months after that. And I was like, I want to do this thing called Healers Academy. And again, being in the wine industry and being in business and all that, it's kind of the opposite of what I was doing a little bit, right? But needless to say, I was interested in it. I just kept following my heart. And I was just like, I just want to do this. I just had this knowing inside of me. And, at times mine got in the way of just trying to, it's like, well, what's the application that's going to look like, things like this. But when I went up, I was really clear sitting there in class and, being in this energy, and I was just, taken aback. I felt like all of the mental processes that I rely on or had relied on for most of my life just quieted down, and I sat there and I just felt this receptive, almost feminine energy flowing in and through me that it was relatively unfamiliar and familiar at the same time. But those 5 days were just, they're epic, and I think everybody's experience is totally different. I can say from my class, the spectrum experience was vastly different, and for me, it was really hard, super hard. I remember it was like day 2 or day 3. I remember looking at one of the people on the healers panel who I had developed a relationship with outside of that class, prior to going to Healers Academy. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And what was happening for me, and the reason I bring this up is because I think humans have a natural tendency to say like comfort equals good, right? Good equals comfort. But I felt that I was in like a heated and pressurized sort of container that was causing me and forcing me to look at these things that I hadn't really been willing to look at until that point in time. And it was perfect, right? It was exactly what I needed. And other people had a very different experience than that. But what I ended up being was like all this love that I had been pushing away, and all this love that I could have received in earlier parts of my life. I was then receiving that moment in time and able to really, just shift into a whole new level of self-love, healing my relationship with the way that I related to the world and saw myself. And I remember this day 3 point, like everything had sort of been crescendoing and they're like building up. And then there's like the crescendo was this like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. But right on the other side of that was this explosive, freeing energy of just freedom, freedom to be me, freedom to get to know myself and pursue my passions. And it was, seems unrelated to getting a healing modality to serve other people. But the thing was that, Empower Thyself is all about knowing yourself, right? And beginning that process of knowing thyself. And then we really need to be able to get to that stage of serving other people to start learning more about ourselves. And so as we're doing the different exercises for the modality, I'm like, oh my God, like something's happening. Like I'm learning about myself while I'm doing something for somebody else. It was super trippy. And then by day 5, I feel like I felt like I was a fit guy at the time, but I felt like I lost like 20, 30 pounds just by just letting go of so much of, whether it be negative programming or just like holding on to memories and identities of who I thought I was. It was so transformational. And on that, because it was so visceral for me, like I felt it on like in all my, in my physical body, my emotional body, like all these different aspects of who I am. I took it running. Like I hit the ground running as soon as I went back to Florida. I think I did like 3 life activations the first week. And mind you, I didn't know, I didn't really know what I was doing. Yeah, I had 5 days of training, but I was just like, I can't argue with what's happening. Let's just like try it out. And I think that's ultimately what, in reflection, it's like, that's what it was for me. It was like, yeah, I went to the training, but Healers Academy didn't stop there. It continued as every single time I did a life activation, every single time I did an aura healing. And then every time I did max meditation, because it's not just life activation you learn in Healers, you get 3 really epic ways to serve people, yeah. And it was a beautiful experience. I came back and it was just like for me, like, just like on fire. At the time, I came back and I was really convicted. I was like, I know that I'm not really wanting to do this work that I was doing anymore. So I literally within weeks got out of the wine industry, totally changed careers. So there's a lot I can say on it. Ultimately it was hyper transformational, massive. And if I could say like the main fruits were that I really felt like I was able to find my purpose more than I had ever felt before. The only time that I can that I can sense into a resemblance of that was when I was a boy, like a very young boy, like 3-4 years old, being in the wilderness, as that's kind of how I grew up. And then, massive healing as a result. And then finally having something that I knew that could serve someone. Like if someone came to me for help, I didn't have to process with them, right? I didn't have to go into the mind, try and analyze, oh, where'd you come from? What are you doing? No, I knew this life activation can help, be a catalyst for something. And so that was now cool. I had something tangible that I could offer people. That was really exciting.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that's so inspirational because, I like you say, people often get to that point of difficulty and, are told, oh, no, that's, not where I should go. I shouldn't push anymore. And then perhaps get afraid or not sure. But, just hearing that from you is just that confirmation that that's where we go when we want to, get to that push through the glass ceiling. We've got to dig deep. And that's what I loved about Healers Academy as well. It was the support in that temple and in the lineage that gives you the safety and the confidence and the tools to push through,
Yes.
Yeah. I found that also.
Yeah. And there's something about that. You go into that a little bit deeper and it's like, if nobody told you that going to the gym, right, and working out really hard, that you'd be sore the next day, you'd assume, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. But thankfully we have guides, right? Guides and people on the healers panel that are there to help that alchemical process, because it's real personal alchemy. There's these different stages you go through, and it may feel like, psychological suicide. It may feel like invigorating and on top of the world. We go through these different ebbs, these flows, these seasons, these tides, so to speak, to achieve a certain thing. And the beautiful thing about it is that what we're in pursuit of achieving is just that like connection with full self and full potential, because prior to life activation, I don't know how much of my consciousness was I operating with. I don't know, probably a lot less than after the fact. Right. And that's why I keep showing up and doing this work, keep applying the tools, because I've seen the miracles in other people's lives. Of course, my own, but sometimes it's easier to see in other people's lives, right? To see where they've gone, in like a 90-day period, or in a 3-year period. So I think, and on that, the tools of the aura healing and the max meditation were something I also took running. Max meditation is how we built our entire foundation here in Orlando, bringing modern mystery school lineage work, King Salomon lineage work to Orlando. We did it every Thursday for 3 years out of 11 by 12 foot space in our 650 square foot home. And somehow, with the light coming in and offering that and showing up weekly, people came and people wanted it. And then, things grew. So I think like, it's not just Healers Academy. You're getting a tool belt, a toolkit that is setting somebody up if they wish to take it as far as they'd like. I think I still learn about Healers Academy. I want to audit it, by the way. I have not yet done that. And it doesn't matter what walk of life one's from. I have a family member who's left brain engineer, finished a couple of Nikola Tesla's patents even, but still very left brain and very engineer related. And they ended up attending Healers Academy. And let's just put it this way, at holiday dinners, I can't get them to shut up about it. Right. And it, we're talking, almost 60-year-old left brain, like very different, generation and culturation of my own. Right. So I've seen every walk of life be able to extract something out of it, because again, it's just connecting the individual more to who they truly are through service, through the life of service. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. I think that's going to be very inspiring to many. So thank you for sharing and your own personal experience, because I know that we sometimes go through these experiences and we want to keep them for ourselves. So I'm so happy that you were willing to share with everyone out there. So thanks so much, Bradford, and we'll hopefully get you back on again, chat about other classes that you've attended. That would be super.
Love it. I'll do it anytime.
Lovely. Thanks. Take care for now. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks so much.